Our regularly scheduled daytime programming will not be seen today, so we may bring you the National League Divisional Series.
The best of 5 National League Eastern Division Series. The defending world champion Philadelphia Phillies, the first half champions, trying to repeat last year's World Series win. Managed by Dallas Green, the Phils led the league in hits and runs scored and feature Pete Rose, the incomparable Mr. Hustle, now the all-time National League leader in base hits. The power for the Phils, Mike Schmidt, last year's MVP and a solid choice again this year. Schmidt led the majors in home runs and RBIs. And on the mound, Steve Carlton, 3-time Cy Young Award winner. No left-hander in Major League history has ever struck out as many hitters as Carlton, who starts Game 1 against the Montreal Expos, who brought the second half Eastern Championship to Olympic Stadium. They're managed in the final month by 54-year-old Jim Fanning, who moved from the front office to the Montreal dugout. Expos led by their all-star game MVP catcher Gary Carter, his enthusiasm contagious, and their talented center fielder Andre Dawson, second to Schmidt in home runs. Dawson combines his power with speed and a Golden Glove. The Montreal Expos, the first Canadian entry in the playoffs. NBC Sports presents the National League Division Series. Today from Olympic Stadium, it's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Montreal Expos. The National League Division Series is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invites you to test drive the 1982 Ford cars and trucks. By the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. By Acme Boots, makers of Acme Real Western Boots. And by improved Prestone 2 Antifreeze. It locks out rust and corrosion. Olympic Stadium, Montreal, Canada. Weather permitting, Game 1 of the Division Series between the Montreal Expos and the Philadelphia Phillies. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Enberg, and this is the start of the playoffs in a most unusual 1981 National League season, featuring, of course, the 50-day strike that separated the first and second half winners, but a year in which there were some outstanding highlights. Steve Carlton, now the all-time National League pitcher in strikeouts. Pete Rose, now the all-time National Leaguer in hits. And, of course, Nolan Ryan with an unprecedented 5th no-hitter. And there was even some magic in the old-timers department. Our partner today, Tom Seaver, fashioned a 14-2 record at the age 36, and that also was an outstanding moment in National League 1981.
Well, Dick, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I certainly would like to be here on the field, but of course, if I can't be on the field playing, it's nice to be back working with NBC again.
A quick look at Montreal and Philadelphia. Can we zero in on something that will be a key to this series?
Well, I think not to beat a dead horse, but as everybody might say, in a short series, pitching looks like it's going to be the key, definitely.
We're going to go chat with Jim Fanning of the Expos. You have the Phillies skipper.
Right, I've got one of the principals here in this playoff, Dallas Green, the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. And Dallas, you've gone through a second half of a season where really your ball club, a world champion ball club, has not had to win. Do you think it's going to be a problem to motivate your players, get them out there, and get them back into the mental attitude of having to win ball games?
Well, Tommy, it worried me early in the second half of the season because I've got the old light bulb theory with this ball club. We've got great talent, and it seemed at times we were able to turn that talent on and score a lot of runs and do the things we're very capable of. Other days we turned the light bulb off and nothing happened, and we end up with a 0 and with an L. We didn't play very well early, but the latter part of this second half season, I've seen some of the consistency that has made the Philadelphia Phillies last year world champions, and hopefully we'll keep going in this playoff series and go right on through.
One of the strong points of your ball club, the fellow that has developed in probably the best pitcher in baseball in the last 3 or 4 years, Steve Carlton, and he's on the mound for you today. He's a big part of this story here at Olympic Stadium.
No question about it. Lefty, I can't say enough about Lefty. He's been everything we've asked of him. He's just been fabulous in terms of being a very, very consistent winner, consistent pitcher, and every time he goes out there, our baseball team, and I'm talking about all 25 guys, they know we're in a ball game, and we're going to be in one today.
Dallas, thank you very much. Good luck. And another one of the principals here at Olympic Stadium, the manager of the Montreal Expos, Jim Fanning, and Dick Enberg is with him in the Expo dugout.
Thank you, Tom. With me, Jim Fanning. Congratulations, Skipper, on your championship.
Thank you. Thank you.
Understand before we even get started, you have a roster change.
Yeah, Dick, Rodney Scott died for a ball in Pittsburgh 3 or 4 nights ago, or days ago, or 5 or 6 now, I guess it's been, but fell on his right shoulder and hasn't been able to play.
Foul pop off the bat of Carlton, but the Phillies draw even on Keith Moreland's home run to lead off the second. In the middle of the second inning in Montreal, it's the Expos, and the Phils even at 1.
There is no shortcut to greatness. The Republicans in Congress set out to cut a bloated economy and make America tough again. It's not an easy job. Nobody said it would happen overnight. But the growth of federal spending has been trimmed, and tax rates have been cut. We've still got a long way to go, but you can feel something good happening out there. We're beginning to feel like winners again. Republicans, leadership that works for a change.
People say I have a $1 million smile. Well, I should. Sometimes I think I invested that much in it. That's why I chew Freedent. Freedent is the one gum that won't stick to my dental work, and I love that fresh minty taste. Freedent gives me all the chewing pleasure I could ask for in a gum. And where my dental work's concerned, there's nothing tacky about it. With Freedent, the pleasure sticks, but gum won't.
Your day is long, and your work is hard. And your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme, the real West.
America's most innovative sports show returns Saturday with 2 World Championship fights. First, marvelous Marvin Hagler, middleweight champion of the world, battles the tough Mustafa Hamsho. Plus, WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver takes on the undefeated James Quick Tillis. Saturday.
Last of the second inning, Carlton works to rookie Tim Wallach. Wallach with a .236 season and 4 home runs. Here are the dimensions at Olympic Stadium. Down each line, it's 325 feet, 99 meters. 114 meters or 375 feet in the alleys, and that's where Wallach sends that line drive. Wallach going to try for 2. That's what you were talking about, Tom Seaver. That wet carpet, and that ball skidded on center fielder Lonnie Smith.
That's one of the things that's really changed the game of baseball is the AstroTurf, and especially when it gets wet. The speed of the baseball going across that surface has really accentuated the need to have outfield speed. Defensive outfield speed is just paramount importance.
They're going to score that as a double. Wallach. Chance for the Expos to break the 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the second. Jerry Manuel up only 55 times all year with 11 hits. There's that Carlton slider. Brings it down and into the right-handed hitters.
Well, he tries to get it down, and in the last pitch he got up. It was hit for a double, and the one to Carter he got up as well. So if he gets it down, he's going to be very, very tough. But he's made 2 mistakes with it. A good point that we talked about yesterday, last night as we were watching the Astros and the Dodgers plays. The big league hitters, they don't miss those pitches when you do get it up.
Soft line drive to Boa for the first out of the inning. Chris Spire, Boa's counterpart, shortstop of the Expos, steps in. Spire could become a free agent after the season, playing his 5 years. Former University of California, Santa Barbara. One of the many collegians on this Expo roster. They're talking about that during the course of the series, that like a college all-star team. That's Montreal Club. They've really gone for the college athlete. All those years that Carlton and McCarver were the battery, and then the Boone, and now suddenly things do change. And Moreland with his bat, he's in there handling Carlton. He got that one up. Here comes Wallach.
about mistakes, Dick, and here's the third one that's rather obvious, a high breaking ball right up in the strike zone. Spire jumps all over it. Wallach has hit a double. Carter with a home run. You just can't make those kind of mistakes to major league hitters, and those are not the kind of pitches that Steve Carlton normally is going to make during the season. Obviously, it's obvious that he's not very sharp out there today yet. I mean, he's got to get his act together. He's still only 1 run down. He's still in the ball game, certainly, but he's got to stop making those kinds of mistakes.
As you pointed out, Carlton allowed the Expos only 2 runs in 19 innings this year. He's allowed 2 in 2 innings today. Steve Rogers, he had 8 hits and 55 at-bats, works out at 145, knocked in 3 runs. Chance to help himself out. In the other National League Division Series, the Dodgers and Houston in the third are scoreless. That's Jerry Royce, the left-hander for Los Angeles, against right-hander Joe Niekro of Houston. Yeah, they were talking down the clubhouse before the game today about Nolan Ryan, and some of the players saying they've never seen Ryan pitch a better game than last night against the Dodgers. 2-hitter. Rogers is punched out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Carlton. Warren Cromartie, who singled to lead off the 1st inning for Montreal, steps up. We asked Cromartie about his thoughts regarding the left-hander Carlton.
Well, Steve called it the best in baseball, in my opinion. No disregards to you, Tom. But lefty doesn't give me anything to hit. He's going to be awful tough to hit. Throws a lot of sliders, a lot of breaking balls. Once in a while, he even drops down on the side. So to me, I think it's going to be very difficult for me to try to get a good pitch to hit off him. But I'm going to try and battle him, make him throw low pitches out there and try to set a tempo for our ball club.
On the appeal, they say did not go around. Ooh. Call made by Billy Williams at 3rd. This guy is a bundle of enthusiasm. He's part of Montreal's Miami connection. He says they're the I-95 team. Andre Dawson and Warren Cromartie migrating north to Montreal. A little off that pitch, and it's 2-1. We're in the last of the second. Montreal on a brace of doubles, taking the lead 2-1. 2 outs, and Spire at second base. Excuse me, foul ball. Well, that's what Cromartie was talking about. That was a wicked breaking ball.
Not going to get much to hit. I think he's exactly right. And Carlton has thrown a lot of breaking balls, a lot of curve balls, and a high percentage of sliders. He really believes in that slider. A lot of pitching coaches that tell you throw that slider too much, your fastball is going to go out the window. But it's been so effective for Steve, he certainly relies on it the majority of the time.
Just missed outside with a fastball.
You can see Moreland shift outside of that pitch. And sometimes that'll give a pitch away to a hitter. You see that catcher shift out there, you know it's going to be a slider.
And for Carlton, he matches the 2 strikeouts of the 1st inning with 2 more in the 2nd. But on doubles by Wallach and Spire, Montreal back in front. After 2 at Olympic Stadium, it's the Expos 2, the Phils 1. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, a follow-up on the assassination of Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. Join John Chancellor and the NBC News team. Experience you can trust.
Hey, want some hot Nestle quick?
Thanks.
Pass this cocoa to your father? Okay.
Tastes great.
Here, Dad.
Ellen, our cocoa tastes like it's made out of water.
It is. I used instant cocoa mix.
Your Nestle's Quick so creamy.
Made quick with milk.
It tastes more chocolatey.
Quick has more cocoa in it.
Helen, try this Quick. Tell me it doesn't taste richer.
Mmm. Can I have some Quick?
Families really love hot Nestle Quick chocolate flavor and milk.
Portland Glass is helping these people invest in insulated glass. That's right, invest, because the money they spend today will be paid back in lower fuel bills forever.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
I'm always on the go with a schedule that won't quit. Interviews to do, news to report, you name it. I have to look my best. And Faze has the cosmetics I need at the lowest prices in town.
Like fabulous Fabergé organic shampoo and conditioner, only 93 cents each. This week during Faze 23rd anniversary sale. Being a good reporter takes brains. Being a pretty good reporter takes Faze.
Faze, not your average drugstore.
Obviously.
This is Channel 5.
Meet Robert Thayer. He's one of the more than 10 million people under 62 who receive Social Security checks. Robert receives disability benefits because of a severe back injury and is being retrained so he can go back to work.
Without Social Security, I don't know what I would have done.
Social Security. It's not just for retirement. It's
You on
there.
top of the third. And Lonnie Smith, as he's swinging a hot bat, fouls that one down the left field corner. He singled to start the ball game to run his streak to 24 consecutive games. Art Howe had a 23-game hitting streak earlier this year, and Smith matched that. Best in the senior side. At the Astrodome, excuse me, Tom, you just want to duck in, no score in the last of the third now.
You look at the guy that Lonnie Smith replaced, and Gary Maddox, who many consider the finest center fielder in baseball, but Dallas Green really likes this young kid, Smith.
Good off speed. One and two the count. It'll be Smith followed by Rose and Matthews in the Phil's third. Second strikeout for Steve Rogers. Pete Rose, who led the National League in hits for the 8th time. That's an all-time record. His thoughts about his opponent, right-hander Steve Rogers.
Well, he works me all around. The last time we was here, I wasn't swinging the bat real well, and I went 0 for 9, but we had a 17-inning game that night. But he was trying to jam me with the fastball. But he's got a good breaking ball and a good fastball and a good sinker, and you just have to be patient with him, and he'll give you a pitch to hit.
Rose with a base hit into the alley in left center. He's going for 2. Rose grounded into a double play his first time up. Whistles a double to left center with 1 out in the Phil's third. And we use the word amazing so often to describe Rose. I'll ask you what your adjective is.
Well, he is an amazing guy. You get that ball out over the plate, and he can rifle that ball up in the alley. Another example how that ball will scoot on this AstroTurf. You can see it scoot right by Jerry White, but a fine play by Dawson backing up. There it goes. You think you've got it timed, and you don't even have to look at Pete Rose. You know he's going to go for second anyway. You know he plays one way, and that's hard.
Another tying run in scoring position with 1 out. And Matthews and Schmidt with a chance to knock him home. Manuel's been busy. Rose goes to third on the 4-3 putout. 4th chance for Jerry Manuel. And here's Mike Schmidt now with a runner at third and 2 outs in the first inning. Rogers obviously pitched around Schmidt. We'll see what he does this time. Look at the crowd. 58,000 the capacity for baseball at Olympic Stadium. And a good turnout on a day where it rained until about an hour before game time.
Rogers in the identical situation that he had in the first inning. The only difference being Pete Rose down there instead of Gary Matthews. One thing as a pitcher that you can do is to take one guy out of that lineup and not let him beat you. Just put him on first base, you know. Go ahead and walk him, pitch around him. Not an intentional walk, but pitch around him. And just tell him, go over in first base so I know where you are. But you're not going to hit the ball out. You're not going to hurt me. He did it in the first inning. I think it was obvious. And we'll see if he does it here in this situation.
Well, that's 5 pitches from Rogers to Schmidt, and they've all been balls. But close, trying to get him to nibble at something bad. And Schmidt is a selective hitter. Now, that was the pitcher's pitch, that he's looking for something a little more delicious.
That's the pitcher's pitch, and Mike is a very patient hitter. He knows he's going to get that count to 2-0 and 3-1 if he's patient enough.
2-1.
almost in this situation, Dick, you can't be patient. You know, I mean, if you've got to realize as a hitter that they are pitching around you, you might have to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe go out and try and hit that pitcher's pitch, because Mike Schmidt can rifle that ball up the right center field alley if you throw that slider out over the plate. I mean, he's as strong as anybody that's playing this game right now. And he might have to be a little bit more aggressive at the plate in this situation.
2 balls and a strike. And ball high and away, 3-1. On deck, you can see Bake McBride. Got a fat one. Oh, what a stop by Parrish. And he gets him. Look at Cromartie and Parrish as they congratulate each other. A bullet to third.
We talked about Mike Schmidt getting 2-0 and 3-1 pitches, and there it was, and he hit it right on the nose on a wet infield, and Larry Parrish made a superb play at third base. He's a fine defensive third baseman.
Good play at both ends as Cromartie picked the one-hopper out of the dirt backhanded. And so the Phils are denied in the top of the third. It'll be Dawson, Carter, and Parrish in the last of the third.
Only one thing is tougher than the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh winter cold. But Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine is a great defense.
The Pittsburgh cold hits you all at once.
I had a really, really bad headache.
My head was stuffed up and congested. My nose was running.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast relief for the Pittsburgh cold. Fast relief for you.
Alka-Seltzer Plus will make you feel a lot better.
The Alka-Seltzer Plus really does work.
When you're going to have a cold, you take the Alka-Seltzer Plus and chicken soup.
Gave birth to 3 babies.
Yeah.
All on the same day.
Yeah.
And ever since, birthday presents have been a big problem.
Yeah.
But this year, we're sending the kids the FTD birthday party bouquet. Johnny'll have a blast in Biloxi. Julie'll go on a toot in Toledo. And Jackie'll get all choked up. We like it so much, we're going to have a party ourselves.
When you reach age 55, you're wanted by Kemper, because drivers your age or older are among the safest on the road. So the cavalry wants you. Most Kemper companies offer drivers 55 and over a special discount now and guaranteed renewal at age 60 and beyond if you've been with us for the 5 previous years. For auto discounts and guaranteed renewal, call out the cavalry. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
Jerry White leads off. Last of the third inning for Montreal. Let's go back quickly to the play made by Parrish to end the Phils' third inning.
Well, it's tough to tell whether it's self-defense or what. Larry Parrish has made the play of the game right there. The tying run, as you see Pete Rose on third base and throws out Mike Schmidt. Schmidt hit an absolute rocket to him.
White fouls it away, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left fielder of the Expos. He tried to sacrifice in the first inning after Cromartie had singled. Was safe on a fielder's choice, stole second, and came home on Carter's double off the left field wall. Base hit. Jerry White, a solid single to left to lead off the Montreal third. A reminder, folks, with playoff fever here, it's prime time tomorrow night. We'll be here in Montreal as the Phillies meet the Expos in Game 2 for the National League Eastern Crown. The National League Division Series continues tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on NBC, the home of great baseball coverage. And in the 4th inning, Jerry Royce has not allowed a hit to the Houston Astros as the Dodgers and Astros are scoreless in the top of the 4th in Houston. Here it's Montreal in front, 2-1. The batter, Andre Dawson. He was called out on strikes his first time up. Actually went around on a check swing. Dawson was up there with the elite Madlock and Rose going into September, and had a tough last month of the year. His average dropping from 325 down to 301. Well, he certainly does tease that balk rule, doesn't he?
Carlton at 4 during the year. He gets as close as he can get over there without committing it.
Good matchup. Power against power. Carlton and Dawson. White with no one out at first base. Missed away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dawson is now the highest paid athlete in all of Canada. Davy Concepcion, the highest paid athlete in all of Ohio now. Moreland's throw not nearly in time. Jerry White has his second stolen base, so with the absence of Raines other than as a pinch runner with a broken hand and Rodney Scott out, White picks up the load.
The people in Montreal here say that Jerry White's the best 4th outfielder in baseball, and it can fill in as well as anybody. Does a superb job and has outstanding speed. Got the base hit off of Carlton and steals second base rather easily.
Had only 5 stolen bases all year. But Dawson unable to move him along as Carlton has his 5th strikeout. Gary Carter, the hitter. He doubled off the left field wall his first time up. Carter. Tom asked him what makes Montreal tick.
I think what makes the Montreal Expos tick is just certainly the fact that we've got a great deal of character, a great deal of heart. We've got an excellent pitching staff, and our overall talent is excellent as well. We've got some key figures there. We've got some good speed, and that's the reason why we're there today.
Now you heard the boos in the background as Carlton is going to walk Carter intentionally. Set up the possible double play, and turnabout's fair play. Schmidt. They worked around Schmidt in the first inning, and now the cleanup man for the Expos, Carter, is walked intentionally. Steve Boros, the first base coach, talking with Carter. 1 out, and Larry Parrish, the man who made that defensive play, gets a hand from this crowd. That's got to be a welcome sound for Parrish. They've been on his back a little bit in Montreal this year.
They were on his back, Dick, because of the poor year that he was having at the plate. He's been suffering with an injured wrist for about 1.5 years, and it's really affected his hitting.
Check swing, and the runners are going to advance. That slider bouncing in the dirt, and Moreland unable to come up with it cleanly. And so with 1 out, runners at second and third.
With that slider, Carlton will have a great number of wild pitches. He had 9 during the season, but he'll get it in there in off the inside part of that plate, and that ball bounces down in that dirt. It's very difficult for the catcher. He will have some wild pitches. 2 men in scoring position now. Takes away the double play.
Inside, and Moreland moving quickly. 2 balls and a strike. Infield, as you can see, in tight, Schmidt, Boa, Trio, and Rose. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Parrish coming on at the close of the year, delivering some big hits. Again, Moreland skidding inside.
Parrish said that with that bad wrist, he tried to make a lot of adjustments in his movement to the ball, started lunging. He's a good hitter. If he'll take the ball and try and hit it up the middle or go to right center field with it. If he doesn't do that, then he's in trouble.
1 out, runners at second and third. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Steve Carlton, with one out, finds the bases full of Expos. Parrish at first. Carter, who was intentionally walked, moves to second. Wide at third, and the batter is Tim Wallach. He hit a double to left center his first time up. Former All-American at Cal State Fullerton. Oh, and a good cut at that one.
It's one of the few fastballs you've seen Steve throw into the strike zone. Steve is, you know, we're not seeing from Steve Carlton the kind of performance that we would expect from him yet today.
Ooh. And we're having some activity now in the Philadelphia bullpen. Mike Crowley begins to tune up.
Hitters, and it looks to me as if his front side is flying open. You can see the bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies, but it looks like Steve's front side, his right side, as he delivers the ball, seems to be flying open. He has been getting a lot of breaky balls up into the strike zone. Those are the pitches that he's been hurt with.
Ball three. So Carlton has to throw a strike, or he throws the Expos a run. Bases loaded, one out. 3-1 pitch. High to left field. Tagging is White, but ball goes out into shallow left to make the catch, and everyone will hold tight. So Wallach had a 3-1 fastball, but couldn't drive in the run.
That is a big out for Steve Carlton. He's one pitch away from walking a runner in. He has to go to his fastball in that situation. 3-and-run right down the middle, and Wallach gets under it a little bit.
Bottom of the third inning in Montreal's Olympic Stadium. Steve Carlton giving up a run in the first, another in the second, and now has the bases loaded, 2 out in the third. The Expos lead the Phils 2-1. A home run by Keith Moreland had tied the game for Philadelphia in the second after the Expos scored in the first inning on a single, force out, and a double by Gary Carter. Then doubles in the third by Wallach and Spire gave Montreal a 2-1 lead. Now in the third, bases loaded, and Tim Wallach has just popped to short on a 3-1 pitch, as Carlton now with 2 gone and facing Jerry Manuel. He sent a soft line out to shortstop his first at bat. 1 ball and 1 strike. Harry Tata's strike call reverberating around Olympic Stadium. Did he? Yes. 1-2. But Carlton not wasting any time now. He's getting that ball, wants to throw it. Manuel backs out. Outside 2-2. Manuel's in there as a starter. Rodney Scott, who injured his shoulder about a week ago, diving for play in Pittsburgh, taken off the active roster just prior to the game. Oh my, now it's 3-2. Bases loaded, the runners go. Strike 3. So Carlton, with the bases loaded and 1 out on a 3-1 pitch, induces Wallach to pop up and then strikes out Manuel on a 3-2 pitch to end the inning. We've completed 3 innings in Montreal. The Expos 2, the Phillies 1.
Don isn't too good at making breakfast, but last night I gave him an A in English.
Use English leather and get an A in the kind of English they don't teach in school.
I've been to school for 20 years.
But tonight he'll get an A in English.
I speak few words of your language.
That doesn't stop him from getting an A in English.
A plus.
Get an A in English with English leather. After-shaven cologne for men.
Here's 2 good friends, 2 Tonight is kind of special.
Alex, I'm just coming out to look for you greenhorns.
We took a little detour.
Little detour? Little detour for what?
Well, we want to say thank you for putting up with us these last couple of weeks.
So we stopped at the store and picked up some lowbrow. Well, by golly, you city folks are all right.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
We had such a good time. We're coming back next year. Okay, but don't tell my horses that.
Coal is America's great energy resource, and digging for it still takes a lot of hard-working muscles, sometimes sore, aching muscles.
I need Absorbine Junior. Just massage it in. Its warmth penetrates, soaks deep down, relaxes and loosens up sore, stiff muscles.
I use Absorbine Junior once in a while when I get a touch of arthritic pain.
Ah, great.
Use Absorbine Junior. It's hard-working medicine for sore, aching muscles.
Betty Davis in Family Reunion, a triumph of the human spirit. Can she bring together 4 generations split by greed? A world premiere Sunday on NBC.
What's the old Victor Borga line? Pardon my back, but pardon my front. Dick Enberg, Tom Seaver. We're at Olympic Stadium. This is our point of view as we look out at Steve Rogers facing Bake McBride, Keith Moreland, and Larry Boa. The top of the 4th inning, 2-1 Philadelphia. Well, again, congratulations, Tom, on your great season, 14-2.
Well, as you say, not bad for an old guy.
Yes, sir, like good wine. I imagine you're happy about the news regarding Concepcion's signing. The Reds could ill afford to lose his talents.
The news last night coming out of Cincinnati that David had signed a 5-year contract, and that's outstanding news for our ball club. He is a prime player for us.
McBride slashes one foul. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, it'll be Game 2 of this series. Right-hander Dick Ruthven, 12-7, scheduled to go against right-hander Bill Gullickson of Montreal. All of it right here on NBC. Well, Manuel had to earn his way today. That's 5 chances for the second baseman.
Rodney Scott, who is the normal second baseman here, everyday second baseman for the Montreal Expos, is rated as an outstanding second. 2 fine second basemen in this game, in Trio and Rodney Scott, but Jerry Manuel making it look easy out there.
Now McBride out on the ground ball to the second baseman, and here's Keith Moreland. He homered over the center field fence his first time up. Understand that Jerry Royce of the Dodgers, now working in the 5th inning in Houston, has not as yet allowed a base hit. No score in that game.
That's the kind of pitching that Steve Rogers is going to be effective with. Strikes low in the strike zone. You can see Rogers come off the mound. We talked about him a little bit early. Sometimes he'll overthink or be too self-critical. An 0-2 pitch, which you're certainly trying to set something up. He throws a good low pitch out of the strike zone, and he's pointing to his left shoulder. Boy, I got to keep my left shoulder in it. Of course, it could be a little bit of theatrics for the hitter to look at, too. Let the hitter have something to see out there. Of course, Moreland took him deep last time at the plate.
After fouling off a couple of pitches on the corner, he got one he could handle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whoops.
You can see Rogers' motion as he comes to the plate. Drives the left side down, but the right leg comes around. He's not very happy with himself right now.
2-2. Little check swing. Changed on that one. Uses a forkball change, he told me yesterday. They've got a youngster in that bullpen, Montreal, Tom Gorman, who throws about 80% forkballs, and they say he can make it go left, right, and down, and really high on him. Solid shot to left center for Moreland, and he's 2 for 2. And you can see again that ball really picking up speed on the wet carpet.
really didn't look like a bad pitch. He got the ball down and away. Certainly was a good pitch. Might have been out of the strike zone. Moreland was out in front, hit the ball one-handed, but on the wet turf, he hit it solid enough to drive it through the infield.
Well, now we've got the matchup of the two deans of these respective teams. Rogers against Boa. Boa's been a Phil now for 12 years, longer than any of his teammates. And on the mound, Rogers working in his 9th season in the red, white, and blue of Montreal. Boa grounded to second his first at bat. Carter guessing they might have a little hit and run in the works. 2-1, the Expos lead here in the top of the 4th. Take it himself with the second out as Moreland moves into second base. 2 out to Manny Trio. Yesterday the playoffs began, and the Dodgers were defeated by the Houston Astros 3-1. Pitching of Ryan, a 2-hitter, and Alan Ashby, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning to win it dramatically for the Astros. And in the West, too much Mike Norris for the Kansas City Royals as the A's of Billy Martin win the opener 4-0. Good stop by Carter. It always amazed me when you consider the plays made by infielders and outfielders with the big gloves, and then the catcher with that big pancake, and how he can able to scoop up one-hoppers left and right and make it look so easy. Well, the guy that can make it look easy is Gary Carter, probably the finest defensive catcher in the game. For a big man, the mobility that he does have is truly amazing. He's no small fella back there. Great hands. Low again, and it's 2-0 to Trio. Of course, the pitcher Carlton is on deck, and with first base open, Rogers working delicately to Trio. Better hurry in this weather. It won't be a hot dog. Understand now, Tom Seaver, that Jerry Royce is not only pitching a no-hitter, but has not allowed a base runner against the Houston Astros in that game in the Dome. Now they're going to finish the job and walk Trio intentionally. So that's the second walk allowed by Rogers, and brings up Carlton. Or will it? Yes, it will. Here he comes. Fouled out to third. That was a good play made by Parrish, who's been the defensive wizard thus far, with a nice play to take that foul pop out of the stands, and then handling the bullet off the bat of Schmidt to close out the third. Two on, 2 out, 2-1 Montreal. Looks like a hitter. Good pitch.
2 pretty good pitches in a row right there. The first one maybe just a hair inside.
Who's regarded in your fraternity now as the best hitting pitcher in the National League?
I would imagine the fellow that's over on the Philadelphia bench, Larry Christensen, has got to be rated as one, if not the top hitting pitchers in the league.
Back through the middle, and Spire gets no, he's safe, and now they have the runner picked off third for Moreland.
Fastball up and out over the plate, and it looks like it's going to be a routine play at second base. Spire to Jerry Manuel, but Manuel doesn't get to the bag. Bruce Frommey calls him safe, but Keith Moreland caught off third base. Larry Parrish right there to put the third out on the Philadelphia Phillies.
Now Carlton credited with an infield hit. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left for Philadelphia. Expos stay in front 2-1.
Guess what's for lunch?
Leftovers.
And some of your favorite Fritos corn chips.
Munch a bunch of, munch a bunch of, munch a bunch of, munch a bunch of Fritos go with lunch.
Nothing gives your old lunch new life like Fritos brand corn chips. So full of munchy corn taste.
Munch a bunch of, munch a bunch, munch a bunch of, munch a bunch, munch a bunch of Fritos go with lunch.
Fritos corn chips make lunch munch better.
There's a new day dawning, America.
Today, we're all working to brighten America's energy future. And Sun, an energy company for nearly a century, is helping by developing new sources of oil, natural gas, synthetic fuels, and coal right here at home.
America, America, Sun is helping to make a new day.
This beautiful day has been brought to you by Sun, an energy company.
On mornings like these, I can't let minor arthritis pain or its stiffness stop me. So I turn to the warming power of Bengay. Bengay warming power works fast. I rub in Bengay and feel that good old warming power deep, right where it hurts, breaking up pain and its stiffness for hours of relief.
No wonder Bengay's America's #1 selling arthritis rub. It's got warming power.
When arthritis pain grips you, break the grip of pain with Bengay.
America's most innovative sports show returns Saturday with 2 World Championship fights. First, marvelous Marvin Hagler, middleweight champion of the world, battles the tough Mustafa Hamsho. Plus, WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver takes on the undefeated James Quintillis. Saturday.
It's got to be a bad play by Keith Moreland there, Dick. You think about it, going around that bag. You either got to go all the way or stay close enough to the bag where you can't get thrown out on the play from second base. A good heads-up play. Let's look at the defensive aspect. Good heads-up play by Jerry Manuel at second.
Now it's Chris Spire. It's his double back in the second inning. The difference in the game at the moment as Montreal leads 2-1. Grew up in the Giants organization. There's Uncle Charlie, 1-1. Dodgers and the Astros scoreless now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Jerry Royce working on a perfect game. They'll have the day off tomorrow, those 2 clubs, and Montreal and Philadelphia will play game 2 here tomorrow night. And on to Philadelphia Friday, Saturday, Sunday if necessary. Off the mask of Moreland, 2-2. Spire, Rogers, and leadoff man Cromartie against Carlton here in the 4th. Three and 2. Carlton has struck out 6, 2 in each inning, and he's walked 2. He walks the leadoff man. That's not vintage Carlton. Reminder, next Sunday, join host Brian Gumbel for NFL 81. All the highlight scores and late-breaking news from all the games and regional NFL action on NBC, featuring 2 keen rivalries, the Browns and the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and the Raiders take on the Chiefs in Kansas City. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's NFL football next Sunday on NFL 81 on NBC. Rogers squaring and Carlton having some problems.
To say that Steve Carlton is struggling is an understatement, really. And you get the 8th place hitter with the pitcher leading behind, hitting behind him in this situation where you know that the pitcher is going to bump the ball. Well, that's next to a cardinal sin for a pitcher. Get a run to second base in scoring position with the top of the lineup coming up.
So a walk and a sacrifice, and the Expos have Spire perched at second with only 1 out. Well, that Rogers, he really shortens up, doesn't he?
Got his fingers right up on the top of that bat, and especially against a guy like a Carlton who can bring the slider in on you. You could end up with a couple of broken fingers if you're not careful.
Of course, that seems safe enough being up there to sacrifice, but ask Don Sutton about the dangers of bunting. He was trying to bunt against Jerry Royce, and Royce nailed him on the right kneecap and put him out of the playoffs. Cromartie, a single and a strikeout. Strike. 1-1. Well, we've had action in every inning. Kind of the pitching matchup, we expect to see a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings, but that's not been the case. Neither pitcher has been able to knock down the side in order yet.
There's the first fastball that Warren Cromartie has seen off of Steve Carlton. Last time up when he struck out, threw him all breaking balls. Curveballs, sliders, everything going out away from him.
2-1. The breaking ball 0 away, so it's 3-1 to Cromartie. In case you joined us late, Carlton back in the third inning with a man aboard, 1 out, intentionally walked Carter, but then walked Parrish to load the bases and got out of the inning only when he got Wallach on a 3-1 pitch and Manuel on a 3-2 delivery. And now he's walked the leadoff man here in the 5th, and he's 3-1 to Cromartie. Hit well down the left field line. That's trouble. Here comes Spira to score on a double by Cromartie. Montreal goes in front 3-1 as the leadoff walk pays off.
Well, we talked about the mistakes that Carlton is making, getting the breaking ball up in the strike zone. He threw all breaking balls to Cromartie last time, and here he goes with a slider out over the plate again, and Cromartie goes with the pitch extremely well. It's a double down in that left field corner. Steve just making a lot of mistakes, a lot of pitches up in the strike zone with his breaking ball.
Jerry White safe on a fielder's choice and scored in the first and singled his last time up. That's 6 hits now for the Expos. Phil's also with 6 hits. One a home run by Moreland for their only run, but Montreal now with a 2-run lead, and Cromartie at second, 1 out. Mike Froley, right-hander, tuning up again for Philadelphia. It is no secret that Philadelphia, after Carlton and Ruthven, struggling in that starting rotation, whereas the Expos have their 4-starter set. So Carlton is so critical for Philadelphia, for him to pitch well and to win today. Otherwise, no question that the Expos are in the catbird seat.
Especially when you look at the fact that behind Carlton, Ruthven did not have a good second half either, Tim. And the plus, playing here at Jerry Park, Steve Carlton has to win for these Expos. He's got to get his game on track.
2-2 pitch misses. You're showing your age there. You said here at Jerry Park?
Jerry Park, that's right. Olympic Stadium, that's right. The old ballpark where the Montreal Expos used to play was called Jerry Park before they moved here to Olympic Stadium.
Ripped, and Schmidt has the runner hung up. He'll try to get in a rundown, but meanwhile, White has gone on to first base and did not take the turn, and now they throw back to first, and that was a live play. He had turned toward the infield coming back to first. You could see Cromartie saying, try to make your move towards second if I can get in a rundown, but Whitehead is back to the play running down the line.
Mike Schmidt, the outstanding third baseman in the National League. A good heads-up play. Lets Cromartie come off the base a little bit. Get that lead runner. Chase him back, boom, give the ball behind to Manny Trio. One more throw, and that ought to do it right there. There's Larry Bow. That's the way the play should be made.
And White now, remember, he has 2 stolen bases. He's stolen second both times aboard. And, of course, that one steal in the first inning helped the Expos in that Carter followed with a double to score him. 3-1 Montreal, and Carlton keeping an eye on the runner. Stealing. 1, 3, 4. And that's it for the Expos in the 4th. They score a run, however, on the leadoff walk and the double by Cromartie, and no one left on. After 4, it's 3-1 Montreal. Back after these messages from your local station.
First Jaws, then Piranha, now Killer Fish, starring Lee Majors and Karen Black. They were lured by sunken treasure, hunted by killer fish. A TV premiere Friday.
$12? Chloe, take it back. And tell those thieves it's buttered noodles.
Mother's, your favorite.
Delectable noodles.
At a sensible price.
I'll have seconds. Then you can model your new coat.
Oh, Papa!
Since your great-grandmother's day, the fresh, tender taste of Muller's has been winning old-fashioned compliments. Today, Muller's noodles still win old-fashioned compliments.
Delectable noodles.
Delectable?
The best in the world are coming to Lake Placid October 8th through the 11th for Skate America. Champions from 14 countries will compete in America's most prestigious figure skating event at the Lake Placid Olympic Ice Center. Tickets for Skate America are on sale now at the Olympic Center box office, area ticket outlets, and by mail, or call today and charge to Visa and MasterCharge. Area code 518-523-3330. Competition, exhibition, and all event tickets available. Skate America October 8th through the 11th at the Olympic Center, Lake Placid.
This is Channel 5.
Dick Enberg and Tom Seaver at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. The totals after 4 innings. Montreal 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Expos have left 5. The Phils 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They too have stranded 5 runners. Leading it off, it'll be Lonnie Smith and Pete Rose and Gary Matthews in the Phils' 5th inning. Smith 1 for 2. A single and then struck out. A .324 hitter on the season. And he's now hit safely with a hit today in 24 consecutive games. Let's reset the defense for you. The battery of Rogers and Carter. Parrish at third, Spire at short. Manuel and Cromartie on the right side of the infield. White in left, Dawson in center, and Wallach in right. Out of play. Rogers collects coins and Indian arrowheads. And, of course, here would like to collect a big scalp, get the Phillies in the opener. Well, you win that first game, a 5-game series, and you reduce things to rather simple mathematics. Pounded off home plate, and Spire gets him. Pete Rose grounded into a double play in the first inning and doubled to left center in the third. These are the 2 teams in the National League who have enjoyed home cooking most of all. The Expos were the best record in the National League, and the Phils not too far behind. They were the 2 winningest home teams in the league. And the Phils were commenting the advantage Montreal has is that opponents usually are playing in foul weather and they don't like it. And if it's your home field, it always seems rosy. Did you look forward to coming up here to pitch in Montreal?
You know, I get asked that question a lot about every ballpark that I go to, Dick, and a lot of it depends on how you're throwing. The one place that I don't particularly like to pitch is in the Astrodome. It's so unusual, and it's difficult for hitters to see down there. Hitters that come in, the visiting players.
Another solid base hit by Rose. Well, that was right out of his autobiography. Just hang some wash on that line drive, and that's the 7th Phil's hit, but Rogers has managed to scatter them well enough and leads 3-1. With 1 out, Jim Fanning checking his lineup card. Gary Matthews, a triple and 2 at-bats as the hitter.
Rogers in 3 games against the Phillies this year was 2-1. It's 23 in a third innings against him. Gave up 27 hits. Earned run average of 5.02 against the Phillies this year. But one of those games that he did win was a 9-6 win.
Apparently Houston finally did get a base hit off Royce. There's still no score. In the top of the 6th in Houston. Dodgers and the Astros in game 2. Dodgers trying to even things out before they go to Los Angeles. And, of course, Houston looking for that big 2-game edge before moving west. Could be two. Spirer, Manuel, Cromartie, double play. No runs a hit, no one left as the Expos turn their second double play, and we're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 innings in the book. The Expos lead the Phils 3-1.
Mr. Richards is a hemorrhoid pain sufferer. Could you ride this bike now?
Well, I guess so, but maybe I shouldn't.
Try what thousands of doctors recommend. Preparation H. It often gives fast, temporary relief from occasional pain and itch. Even helps shrink swelling of inflamed hemorrhoidal tissues. Want to try it?
Sure.
Hey, that was fast. My pain's gone and I'm riding a bike.
Doctor recommended Preparation H. Relieves pain and itch, even helps shrink swelling.
Hershey Real milk chocolate, I love that Hershey bar.
Hershey that is something special no matter where you are. Anytime you want delicious chocolate, there's no need to go looking very hard.
Hershey's great!
'Cause Hershey is the great American chocolate bar.
America's most innovative sports show returns Saturday with 2 World Championship fights. First, marvelous Marvin Hagler, middleweight champion of the world, battles the tough Mustafa Hamsho. Plus, WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver takes on the undefeated James Quick Tillis. Saturday.
Home half of the 5th inning in Montreal, and the Expos will send up Andre Dawson, Gary Carter, and Larry Parrish, the heavy guns, against lefty Steve Carlton. Dawson has gone down swinging both times facing Carlton, who has 6 strikeouts and has walked 3, given up 6 hits and 3 runs. 3-1 Montreal. Hit well to right. Big McBride has to play the carom. Dawson going for 3. He's got it. Carlton backed up the throw, and Dawson a leadoff triple in the 5th.
We talked earlier about Andre Dawson being a Willie Mays type of player. He gets a pitch out over the plate and drives it down in that right field corner. Big McBride couldn't get to it. Dawson, who had 26 stolen bases during the year, along with those 24 home runs, has outstanding speed. A very aggressive player, sliding headfirst into third, and there's Steve Carlton backing up the play. Good play by the pitcher.
And good camera work. Gary Carter, and Schmidt holds a runner at third. Now Carter unable to deliver the run. That's 1 out. Brings up Larry Parrish. The Expos with a chance to add to that 3-1 lead here in the 5th inning. Parrish just struck out and walked. Dickie Thon of the Astros, the infielder, ruined Royce's bid for postseason immortality. Don Larson, about this time, threw that perfecto against the Dodgers. 1956, wasn't it? Mike Crowley throwing again in the bullpen for Philadelphia. And the countdown 2-0 to Parrish. There's the right-hander Crowley. 2 balls and a strike.
Savior for this ball club coming down the stretch. You talked about before, Dick. He just took one off the shin. That's really got to hurt. But he had that bad wrist, got into a lot of bad habits. Started lunging, pulling off the ball, front side coming off. Going down that last 6 weeks, driving in 24, 25 runs. He did a fine job for this Expo team.
Almost an identical swing, and foul. You get that slider coming inside, low and inside of the right-handed hitter, and it's pretty easy to pound it off your puppy. Has a good shot of Dawson standing at third as he comes down the line. 3-2. Popped him up. Right up the elevator shaft, and it's Moreland with the out. So Parrish fouls out to the catcher, Moreland. And Parrish, an unhappy Expo, going back to the dugout.
If you run the count to 3-2 or get behind 2-0, 3-1, the hitter has the advantage. And with Carlton, it looks like Larry Parrish is certainly guessing slider, and that's exactly what he got, too. And it was up in the strike zone. You could tell he was upset that he missed it. He had a good pitch to drive, and he missed it.
They're going to walk Wallach intentionally. That'll be the fourth free ticket from Carlton, 2 intentionally. They'll take their chances on the lighter hitting Jerry Manuel. They really like Wallach, who played first base in college, but they say that he can really handle himself well at third and in the outfield as he's playing today. Good hands and good power. Hit 36 home runs in the minors last year. Herb Storett, the pitching coach, and Dallas Green. Pretty intent expressions down in that Philly dugout. The Expos really one big swing away from breaking this one wide open on several occasions today. They lead 3-1.
Talking about breaking the game open is where you have to give credit to the veteran pitcher like Carlton. Even though he's pitched poorly, he's been behind a lot of hitters, 3-2 on a lot of hitters. Through 5 innings.
The element of surprise doesn't work as Carlton throws out Manuel.
He's still been able to shut him down. That's a mark of a good veteran pitcher, Dick.
He leaves a couple of Expos aboard in the 5th inning. No runs. He pitches around a leadoff triple by Dawson. And after 5 in Montreal, Expos 3, Phillies 1.
All across this land of ours, the feeling's in the air. To move ahead, to get it done, to work the job, to grab some fun. Yes, America's going strong for top Ford trucks. Ford is America's truck. Ford is America's truck. Ford is America's truck.
Over the years, you've come to expect innovation and toughness from Ford trucks. That's because we constantly strive to build in new ideas in fuel efficiency, carrying capacity, people comfort, and rugged toughness. And we wrap it all in a strong, handsome package. No wonder Ford has outsold all other truck lines over the past 12 years. It's America's truck.
Ford is America's truck. Ford is America's truck. Ford is America's truck.
America's truck. It's built Ford tough.
There's Dan and Ellen Fields. He's editor of our local newspaper. He looks worried about his problem dandruff. I wish he'd ask me.
Mr. Owens, what shampoo should Dan use for his problem dandruff?
Ellen, how about Tegrin?
It works on itching and flaking?
In a national survey, 3 out of 4 dermatologists judge Tegrin's medication effective in fighting even problem dandruff.
Let's try it out.
Oh, how's Dan's problem dandruff?
Tegrin's terrific news, Mr. Owens.
Prove it to yourself. Tegrin works.
The pocket rocket, Henri Richard. His older brother, Maurice the Rocket. Two great names in National Hockey League history, and of course, great favorites of these marvelous fans in Montreal. One of the things that I was hoping we'd be able to do, Tom, while we're up here is see a game at the Forum as the NHL season just beginning. They open tomorrow night. We'll be busy here. Mike Schmidt against Steve Rogers, top of the 6th inning, and the Phils are down by 2, 3-1 Expos. Smothers that one foul. Tom chatted with Mike Schmidt before the game and asked Mike how he thought Steve Rogers would work to him today.
Well, from Steve Rogers, I'll see a little bit of everything. I'm going to try to run the count deep on him as much as I can. I don't like to swing at the first pitch when Steve's pitching. I like to try and get a 2-0 count on him, a 3-1 count. I think it's important to a hitter as myself that I wait for a good pitch to hit. And if I don't get one, to go on down to first base with a walk, because I have people coming up behind me that can do the job also.
Outside, so in this case, Schmidt down 0-2, but he certainly has followed his words accurately today. He walked in the first inning patiently, 4 pitches, then he got 3-1 and drilled one to third, and Parrish made the defensive play of the game. Chase that one. For Rogers, his 3rd strikeout.
Schmidt went after 2 bad pitches during that time at bat. He fouled one off down toward third on a fastball out and away, and that's a good curveball. Mike way out in front. Ball out of the strike zone. We talked before about Mike Schmidt being very patient. He gets very upset when he swings at a bad pitch like that.
Bake McBride called out on strikes and grounded to second. Tomorrow night it'll be Ruthven for the Phils, Gullickson for Montreal, 8 o'clock Eastern Time here on NBC. To McBride. Is Rogers the kind of pitcher that can close his own deal? Is he a 9-inning pitcher?
Steve coming back from an arm operation can close a team out, most certainly.
Jerry White running that one down in shallow left field for the 2nd out in the 6th inning. A reminder, folks, on Saturday, a big boxing day on NBC Sports World, as Sports World returns for the fall season with not one but a chance to watch 2 World Championship bouts. You'll see the middleweight champion Marvin Hagler take on #1 contender Ham Show, and the heavyweight champion Mike Weaver, WBA champ, against James Quick Tillis. That's Saturday on NBC Sports World, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. The replays of those 2 outstanding bouts. Moreland, a home run and a single. Fouls that one back. One ball, 1 strike. In case you're wondering about long balls hit here in Olympic Stadium, there are a couple we'd like to talk about. We get a moment, we'll show you the marks. Fouled out of play. Although maybe it won't be possible. Willie Stargell, they painted a seat gold out in right field. And apparently somebody's sitting in it out there. That's Barbara Rogers, wife of Steve, rooting for her husband. Fouled at the plate. But a more incredible shot is one hit by Dave Kingman that hit the facade in left field and provoked an unusual marking for the foul pole here at Olympic Stadium. We'll get a chance. We'll show you down the left and right field line. The foul pole screen is extended by paint right up into the roof, just in case King Kong comes back. Little soft liner to Manuel, and the inning is over. For the first time today, a pitcher retires the side in order as the Phils go down 1-2-3 in the 6th. Coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning for Montreal, it'll be Spire, Rogers, and Cromartie. Expos in front, 3-1.
Out of the blue comes the ice blue freshness of Aquavelva. Out of the blue comes the Aquavelva man. Looking for the light scent, the clean scent, the fresh scent that comes from out of the blue. There's something about an Aquavelva man. Be one.
You've got a ticket on the Heartburn Express. If one Rolaids tablet can't cut the mustard, you should know about one Tums and one Rolaids tablet both neutralize the stomach acid in seconds. But when your stomach turns out 1/3 more acid, Tums can still absorb it. Rolaids can't. Not in seconds, not ever. That's why you should switch to
This is radiator rust. It's building up after just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze. Now look at a radiator protected with new improved Prestone 2 after the same miles. Quite a difference. Introducing the new silicone silicate formula Prestone to lock out rust and corrosion in all metals. Now it's even stronger for better aluminum protection. New improved Prestone 2. The bestseller just got better. No wonder we're #1.
Wednesday, Real People looks at the world of teenage runaways. Then, guess who's ready for a new season? And later, wow, it's time for more lessons about facts of life.
Chris Spire leads off the Montreal 6th inning. He has an RBI double, walked and scored, so he's been a part of 2 of the 3 Montreal runs today. Carlton has given up 7 hits and 4 walks in the first 5 innings and trails 3-1. That one fouled off first, and Rose will take a look at that one becoming a souvenir. Bill Lee is jogging down the right field line and will begin warming up for Montreal, the left-hander. Former collegiate at USC along with Tom Seaver. One and 2 to Spire. We could see him come out if he gets on base, and Tim Raines could pinch run for him. Thinking of fanning as any time from the 6th inning on. Raines, who was part of the 25-man roster, the brilliant rookie outfielder who broke his hand in Chicago a few weeks ago, would come in as a pinch runner and pick the right spot. Of course, if Spire should walk, we might just see that. Still no score in Houston in the last of the 6th inning. Royce against Necro. Well, they've featured some outstanding pitching in the first 2 games. He's aboard. Now let's see if Fanning plays the card.
Second time in a row that Carlton has walked Spire leading off the inning. There's a shot of that foul pole in left field. As you go way to the top, you can see an orange line start on the roof that extends out to the overhang in this place, Olympic Stadium. There it goes.
I looked at that yesterday when I first came in here. I wondered, what in the world? Why would they paint all the way up onto the roof? And you told me why. Foul ball on the bunt try by Rogers.
That ball was hit up there by Dave Kingman when I was still with the New York Mets. It was down the left field line. Bruce Fromming, who we just see right there at second base today, was a third base umpire. It was a cloudy, overcast day, and you really couldn't see the ball. You'd lose the ball to get up so high. It doesn't seem possible, and everybody, at least the players, thought the ball was fair. Bruce called it foul. The ball bounced back in, hit in behind shortstop.
Boy, that is a mammoth shot. Rogers almost had him picked off first base as Spire stumbled going back to the bag. Moreland hesitated, and by the time he gunned the ball down there, it was too late.
A bench situation. Certainly Chris Spire trying to get as big a jump off in case the ball is laid down. He stumbles going back. That's why it became a close play at first base. Trio coming in behind the runner, and a good throw, but too late to get Spire.
When Spire led off the 4th inning with a walk, he eventually scored on the double by Cromartie.
Certainly Carlton is not very sharp. It's obvious. Marjorie Cromartie there enjoying the game here at Olympic today.
Well, she's got a nice face, just like her son.
Just
happy face.
Beautiful smile, just like her son is right.
Bunted foul by Rogers, and that runs the count to 2-2. Both bullpens busy at the moment. Ron Reed has joined Mike Proley down in the Philly pen, and Billy throwing easily for Montreal. Good bunt by Rogers. Rose a little trouble fielding it, but Rogers was not running all out. So Rogers does his job again, sacrificing Spire to second base. That was the formula back in the 4th.
Sacrifice Spire on a very difficult pitch, too, that slider down and in, which is a very difficult pitch, and Rose bobbles the ball. Had Rogers been running hard, and Conceivably an error on Pete, or they might have given him a hit. But here's another shot from the center field camera. Very difficult pitch to bunt. May look easy sitting at home in your living room, but that is a tough pitch to bunt.
And the way Rogers bunts it, he only uses about 12 inches at the end of the bat. Cromartie. Single, struck out, and doubled in a run in the 4th inning. 2 for 3. Excuse me, roller to Rose. And there's 2 away. On to third goes Spirer, and it's up to Jerry White. White was safe in a fielder's choice and scored in the 1st on a double by Carter. He singled to left in the 3rd and safe on a fielder's choice again the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Traded to the Cubs in '78 for Woody Fryman, who has been had another banner year in the bullpen for Montreal. And then they got him right back. Did the Expos get White after that season for outfielder Sam Mejias, who's now your teammate in Cincinnati. Hit high to center field and playable. Smith in the long part of the yard. So again, the Expos lose an opportunity. No runs, no hits, and they leave a man at third base. After 6 complete innings in Montreal, the Expos 3, the Phillies 1. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Betty Davis in Family Reunion, a triumph of the human spirit. Can she bring together 4 generations split by greed? A world premiere Sunday on NBC.
October 4th through 10th, Grand Union Consumer Report. Best food buys. Household needs. Markel's soft pack bathroom tissue. 4-roll package, 89 cents. And hefty trash bags. Bonus pack, package of 12, $1.29. And Yes heavy-duty liquid laundry detergent. Deal label 32-ounce bottle, $1.48. This week's best buys are at Grand Union. When you see the dot, you save a lot.
Is your small American or foreign car developing road vibration, unusual tire wear, or other handling problems? If your car has over 25,000 miles, you may need McPherson strut shock replacement. Come to Midas today for your free strut inspection. The Midas Shock Specialist can recommend the struts you need to restore your ride. Midas carries a complete inventory of heavy-duty struts. Or if you're having any brake problems, try to stop at Midas for a free brake estimate. That's Midas Muffler in South Burlington and across from the mall.
This is Channel 5.
Top of the 7th inning, Ron Reed warming up for Philadelphia, the former Notre Dame star, both in baseball and basketball, played, of course, in the NBA, and he's had a good second half of the season for Philadelphia. The Phil starting pitcher, Carlton, is 3 hitters away as Philadelphia brings up Boa, Trio, and Carlton's spot in the 7th, trailing 3-1.
Now you can play manager at home, even if the first 2 men make out, Boa and Trio. Do you hit for Carlton? He's been struggling, but he's the guy that, in essence, on your pitching staff that's gotten you here to this playoff situation. Do you stick with him? Do you pull him out, try and get the run?
Trailing 3-1, of course, Boa and Trio try to make it academic and get on base where a pinch hitter would represent the tying run. Boa has grounded out both times, pulling the ball to the right side against Rogers. Ball loose in the bullpen, and Jerry White tracking it down. Don't forget tomorrow night, Game 2, right-handers Ruthven against Gullickson, 8 o'clock here on NBC. Ball 1. It's an indication of Rogers' stuff today, Tom Seaver, that he has not thrown a fly ball to the outfield. It's all been groundouts. Let's check that. Yes, there was. 1 in the last inning. I'm sorry. The first fly ball was McBride in the 6th inning.
That was the first out to the outfield. A little pop fly to left field. Rogers pitched a superb game his last start of the regular season against the New York Mets, a 2-hitter, and doing the things that he has to do to be an effective pitcher today. Throw strikes, keep ahead of his hitters, keep the ball down.
1-1. There it is, a good sinker, and Rogers will take that right on to the bag himself.
Marty and Rogers talking it over right there. About where were you? I was looking for you.
Here's the report card on Rogers for 1981. Had 3 shutouts, 7 complete games, 12 wins, only 2 behind the National League leader, Tom Seaver. 6th in the league in innings pitched, so he kind of man you send out there and you give the bullpen a rest now and then. Trio has grounded out and walked.
The Phillies do have an on-deck hitter in the on-deck circle, Greg Gross, yes. And he could be pulled back now if Trio does not get on. It does not mean that he's officially in the game just because he's in the on-deck circle. He could just be up there getting ready. Ron Reed in the bullpen, and he's been throwing this entire time. So certainly if Trio does get on for the Phillies, I would think Dallas Green would hit for Carlton.
Another soft ground ball, and Manuel takes care of Trio. Now that's 6 in a row retired by Rogers, and we'll see now the decision. Yes, it has been made. Greg Gross will bat for Carlton. So Steve Carlton works 6 innings. He allows 3 runs, all earned, 7 hits. He walked 5, and he struck out 6, but didn't strike out a man after the 3rd inning. Greg Gross has had unusually fine success against this Montreal club. Two outs. Gross trying to get aboard, bring that tying run up. Lonnie Smith, the leadoff man, is on deck. Slashed foul. In Gross and Unser, Dallas Green has a couple of good veteran left-handed bats that know the situation, can come off the bench and deliver, as did Unser so wonderfully for the Phils in the playoffs last year. Two-strike pitch. Pitch him away and play him away is apparently the philosophy of Rogers here. The outfield way around toward left for Gross. Set him up inside, 2-2.
Rogers did a fine job. There's a shot of the outfield. You see how they pitch him away, in essence play him away. Play him to left field in the outfield. Rogers 2 quick strikes, breaking ball high and away, and then comes back in hard. Let's see what he does here.
Right down the middle, and it's lifted to right field. Waiting for it to come down is Wallach. And for the 2nd consecutive inning, Steve Rogers mows down the Phils. 1, 2, 3. Stretch half of the 7th inning. They're on their feet at Olympic Stadium with a score 3-1 Expos, and the middle of the batting order coming up.
Hey, look at that. It's a chainsaw. Uh-oh, somebody must have left it. Probably taking a coffee break. It's a McCulloch Mac 110. Wow. It's got automatic oiling. That's slick. This here's the chain brake safety feature. Yeah? Starts the chain in less than 1/10 of a second. That's fast. Can you believe it cost only $89.95? That is a good deal. Mm-hmm.
McCulloch, the lowest price chainsaw with chain brake. Only $89.95.
That McCulloch's got just about everything. Yeah, but I bet it can't swim. Good point.
McCulloch, in the yellow pages, under saws.
Clean water, more precious to life than oil. But it too is becoming scarce because of man's pollution. But now there's something that's helping to clean water all over the world. A unique wastewater treatment system made possible by this special plastic developed by Phillips Petroleum. There are other energy sources besides oil, but there's no substitute for water. Caring for your car and more. That's performance from Phillips Petroleum.
I can tell a real cowboy from the drugstore kind, clean across Texas. The way he wears his hat will tell you. And the beer that you drink's a surefire giveaway, too. A lot of us drink light beer from Miller. We love the taste, but we surely appreciate that it's got 1/3 less calories than the regular kind. You see, you don't want to be filled up when you're out there punching doggies. Ain't that right, cowboy? I didn't punch that doggie.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Follow the bouncing ball Sunday on NBC Sports.
Veteran Ron Reed in relief of Steve Carlton. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-1 Montreal. Reed working in 39 games this year, saving 8, winning 5. He'll face Dawson, who tripled to lead off the last time up, and he tries one up the middle and gets a base hit. Well, Dawson got a kind bounce as that ball hit the infield cutout around second base and kicked high off Boa's glove.
The ball on the AstroTurf going from turf to dirt. Well, some very funny bounces once in a while, Dick, especially when the infield is wet. Fastball down and in, he beats it right into the ground, and the ball will goes from dirt to dirt and accelerates off that second dirt part, just one off the tip of Larry Boa's glove.
So the Expos maintain their mark of having at least one base runner in every inning today. Gary Carter, an RBI double in 2 official at-bats.
The Expos have had several chances, to blow this game wide open. Carlton has been able to shut them down. They conceivably could have scored 6 or 7 runs today if they'd have gotten a hit in the situation.
Olympic Stadium. And this crowd has enjoyed a fine performance by Rogers and enough offense to lead 3-1. Carter hits it to right and well. McBride tucks it away for the first out. As Larry Parrish comes up, a reminder of his outstanding play back in the 3rd inning to rob Mike Schmidt of a double.
Certainly the defensive play of the game. That's an important run. You see Pete Rose heading for home from third base right there, but there's 2 outs. Parrish got to his feet, threw out Schmidt at first base to end that inning. Defensive play of the game, no question about it.
Parrish with a bat has struck out, walked, and fouled to the catcher. Boy, you see a lot of knees and elbows with Reed on the mound. Veteran right-hander who will be 39 in November.
.6'6", 225. Nothing tricky about Ron Reed either. Comes right after you. Good hard stuff. Good fastball. Good slider. Of course, Dawson at first base, always a threat to steal. 26 on the year. There he goes.
He's on his way to third. So Andre Dawson steals second and goes to third on the throwing error by Moreland.
Well, the last time up, Dawson hits the ball down the corner, gets a triple here. Another example of the fine speed from an all-around player. 26 stolen bases during the regular season. Another one off of Keith Moreland here. Steals it rather easily. Gets right up. Good heads-up player. Just watching him play reminds you of Willie Mays. Never takes his eye off the ball. Always on the ball.
Well, Parrish with a chance as he takes ball 2. It's 2-1. Not an out to add to the 3-1 lead. The infield in tight. Ball 3. Montreal in every inning with a chance to score. And we're able to come up with runs in the 1st and 2nd and again in the 4th. They left the bases loaded in the 3rd. Left 2 men on in the 5th. Wasting a leadoff triple by Dawson in that inning. 3-2. Last inning they had a walk and a sacrifice, a man at second with 1 out, and now they've got Dawson at third with 1 out. Got him.
Pretty good example of pitching right there from Ron Reed. 3-1. There's a look at Jim Fanning in the Expo dugout. We asked him yesterday what he has to do to beat the Phillies.
I think we have to outpitch them. I think pitching is going to be the key. We know their hitters very well. They know us very well. We're not strangers one to the other, and it's going to be they're stopping our bats and we stopping theirs. And sometimes that might connotate only the big bats, but there are a lot of bats in the lineup, and And the pitching will be a very definite key.
Now Jim Fanning has made a move, bringing in Terry Francona to bat for Tim Wallach. It's interesting that they're batting for one another in that Francona was the 1980 College Player of the Year for the University of Arizona, and the man for whom he is batting, Wallach, was the Player of the year before, 79, for Cal State Fullerton, those two teams winning the collegiate championship. But Francona will not swing the bat. They walk him intentionally. His daddy, of course, 15-year professional veteran Tito Francona, and they really like this kid up here. They say he's got great bat control, and he'll gain more and more power as he grows up, and he plays at 22 like a veteran of 32.
You were talking to Fanning yesterday in the dugout about how this organization, the Expo organization, has gone to the college type of player. They want that kid out of the college. They want that more mature player.
Runners at first and third. That's something we'll develop. Perhaps we can get more into it tomorrow night and give fans an idea of just how many colleges and universities are represented on just the 25 Montreal man roster. And Fanning, one of those who initiated that philosophy, along with John McHale, the general manager. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Dawson at third, Francona at first, and Jerry Manuel, the batter. He sent a soft line to short, struck out, and tried to bunt his way on. Another chance, and the Expos unable to get a run on and out, and they've squandered 3 of those opportunities today. See Moreland moving Rose back behind the runner at first. Francona goes, and they'll give him second. 2 strikes now to Manuel. You're shaking your head, Tom Seaver.
I find that an unusual play. I don't care who the hitter is. Get another man down in scoring position. They're down 3-1 already. A bloop single here, and it's 5-1.
It's that one back into the crowd, and the count remains 0-2.
You can do that if you want to walk this man and pitch to Chris Spire. That's fine. But you're putting another man in scoring position when you're already 2 runs down. I don't understand that.
Got him to chase a bad ball, and Reed gets out of it with his second strikeout. Some good pitching by Ron Reed. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base for the Expos. We go to the 8th inning in Montreal. Coming up for the Phils, the leadoff man Smith, and Rose and Matthews.
Does life seem tougher? You bet it does. With inflation and taxes, it seems like I'm working harder and making less. Sometimes it gives me a miserable headache.
Life got tougher, and we got stronger. This is Extra Strength Excedrin. Unsurpassed strength with the 2 most powerful pain relievers you can buy, and a 3rd ingredient that may make them work even harder on your headache.
When I get a headache, I fight back with Excedrin.
Extra Strength Excedrin. Capsules or tablets. Life got tougher, and we got stronger.
Oh, it was disgusting. It was gross. It just was gross.
Jean had warts. Compound W got rid of them.
On your hand, especially right in the middle of your hand, it's like very embarrassing. I used to think it was funny, and then when it happens to you, it's not so funny.
Used daily, Compound W dissolves warts away, quickly, in just days. Prevents spreading, too.
Trust me, it works.
Compound W gets rid of warts.
Hallelujah!
The secret of the Colombian coffee bean was passed from the grandfather of Juan Valdez to the father of Juan Valdez, and then to Juan. For in Colombia, it is an art to pick the coffee bean at a moment of perfect ripeness. It is an art that is passed from generation to generation to generation. It is no accident that Colombian coffee is the richest coffee in the world. It is a national heritage.
Francona will stay in the game for Montreal as we go to the 8th inning. He'll play left field. Jerry White will move from left to right field with Wallach out of the game. So the outfield for the Expos, Francona in left, Dawson in center, White in right. Lonnie Smith, 1 for 3 to start things for the Phils in the 8th. They need 2 to tie. And Rogers has retired the last 7 men in order. Not that one. By Parrish. And Smith will settle for a single. Boy, speed is such a great asset. Because of the speed of Smith, Parrish had to play shallow, and by the time he reached for that line drive, it was by him.
Not only the speed of Lonnie Smith, but the speed of that ball coming off the AstroTurf, too. That's a much different play if they're playing on grass, Dave. That's a play that Larry Parrish might make on grass. Get up and throw Lonnie Smith out at first base. But the artificial turf comes to play because of its factor of speed on that one.
So Smith, with his second hit, is aboard, and that brings a tying run to the plate for the Phils here in the 8th. Remember, this is the top run-producing team in the National League, the Phils, and Pete Rose a part of that. He's has a single and a double, 2 for 3 today. Oh, they pick Smith off. How do you do?
You talk about a heads-up play and a guy that's really in the game, Gary Carter. The guy that gets caught with his pants down is Lonnie Smith. Cromartie gets the ball, doesn't know really if Smith has gone to second yet or not, and reaches back and tries to make the tag. There it is. Smith loses his balance. He's a dead fill at second base. Chris Spire puts a tag on him.
Boy, that really lets the air out of the balloon in a hurry. You get that leadoff man on and picked off clean by Carter. Rose showing him the possible bunt for a base hit. He's just trying to keep that inning going, and now he's got to drive one. 2-1. Meanwhile, in the Astrodome, no score. The Dodgers out hitting Houston, but well, one run's going to play big now in game 2 of that series. A much tougher play than it appeared because the ball wasn't hit as hard as it might have first appeared, and Spire didn't jump too soon.
Very difficult play for that shortstop in that situation. I think it's difficult for the infielder to tell where the ball has been hit on the bat. If it's up by the handle, if it's out on the trademark, if it's out on the barrel of the bat. A big hand for Chris Spire because of the fine defensive play. He has really helped solidify that Expo infield.
Gary Matthews takes a strike. And listen to these Canadian fans in Montreal. They're Expos in front, 3-1. And you know if they leave the ballpark today saying, we beat Steve Carlton, that they're going to feel mighty confident about this playoff. Rogers still talking his way through some of the pitches. 1-1 to Matthews. A double in 3 trips for Gary. Like that changeup, 2-1.
Rogers will have several clubhouse meetings with himself on the mound. He'll continually talk to himself, remind himself of the things that he's supposed to do, what he's not supposed to do.
They're now in the 8th inning in Houston. No score. A right-hander, Fryman a left-hander are getting loose in the Montreal pen. Houston feeling the score in the last of the 7th. That ball hammered high in the air to Dawson in center. And the Expos are 3 outs away from victory. No runs, a hit, but Lonnie Smith picked off first base on a snap throw by Gary Carter. Bottom of the 8th, it'll be Spire, Rogers, and the leadoff man, Cromartie.
Dueling corduroys, the best-selling corduroy jeans versus JCPenney plain pockets. They both fit great. They're both long-wearing. They even look alike. Here's the difference. Plain pockets don't have a little name tag, but they do have a little price. And now they're even on sale for just $11.99. JCPenney plain pockets. They're the cords to pick.
Genie opens your door to America.
We've waited long enough for a Genie garage door opener.
Thank you.
The price is right, and my family can use our Genie every day. Come on, Billy. And I did it myself in just a couple hours. Push once to open and twice to close.
Genie, open your doors.
Thanks, Genie.
America.
I'm delighted to, well, I can't tell you how thrilled to have you all here. But I want to tell you, you span the years for me, and you've, and all these young gentlemen here are growing up as ball players. It's a delight to have all of you here. The nostalgia is bubbling within me, and I may have to be dragged out of here because of all the stories that are coming up in my mind.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
We go to the last of the 8th inning, and Chris Spire got another 30-second ovation for the catch. It was a good catch, but hardly a great play. Boy, the fans really applauding his effort.
Yeah, the fans are caught up in the enthusiasm of the possibility of winning, except for one, of winning their first postseason game, and they've got to be excited.
Check swing foul, and it's 1-1 to Spire, who also has contributed at the plate today with an RBI double back in the 2nd inning. And that's the go-ahead run at the moment. And then he's walked twice, scored another run. Two managers, Fanning and Green. Looking ahead to the 9th inning for Philadelphia, Schmidt, McBride, and Moreland scheduled. With that fastball coming right into your window. 2-1. Three balls and a strike.
In this situation last inning against the Expos, 3-1 count. Reed went with a breaking ball. And then he went to 3-2 on Larry Parrish and struck him out with a high fastball. Here he is, 3-2 on Chris Spire. Let's see which way he goes. Of course, Parrish had been on base now last inning when he was out.
Ball 4. The 3rd straight time that Spire has walked. And that is the 7th base on balls given up by Philadelphia pitching today. Although Reed thought he had him struck out.
Like a high slider out of the strike zone. It's the 3rd time today that he's walked. Dick is an amazing big and leading off the inning every time that he has walked.
This crowd building in its enthusiasm, saluting Steve Rogers. Spire walked to lead off the 4th, eventually scored on Cromartie's double. Walked to lead off the 6th, but died at 3rd when White fly deep to center. And he's aboard again, and Rogers, as he has done the last 2 times up, trying to move him along to 2nd. Oh, a little Baltimore chopper there, a butcher chop swing. Unable to track it down, Manny Trio.
It's a play that Casey Stingo used to call the butcher boy. Get those infielders coming in, get them moving, fake the bunt, and hack on the ball when it gets up there.
I like that play. You don't see it much these days, and a man who can handle a bat and get yourself a cheap base hit.
Especially when you consider how difficult it is to bunt a good bunt on the AstroTurf. Much easier to field bunts on the artificial surfaces.
Watch White Barber's reaction. Bunted hard, and Rose gets the force at 2nd base. Rogers safe on the fielder's choice. As you said, you really have to be an artist with that bat on the carpet to move a man along.
Well, you can see is it's not a good bunt, but when the ball hits, how it comes right up into Rose. Very easy for him to handle. Good hard slide by Spire at 2nd base, and Boa jumps out of the way. He really doesn't have a play at first base because Rogers runs well for a pitcher.
So Rogers, the jacketed form at first base with 1 out. Cromartie out of that leadoff spot. Since the injury to Reams, he's done quite a job, and so it is today with a couple of big base hits.
Cromartie, since he's been in that leadoff spot, at 467. One of the moves that Jim Fanning has made, putting Cromartie in the #1 spot in the lineup.
Takes a couple of strikes from Reed.
Maybe he's looking for a knuckleball. This looks like, they look like they're right down Broadway.
Good stop by Moreland. Just to review the scoring for you, in the first inning, Montreal took the lead. A single by Cromartie. White trying to bunt him along, forced him at second. White then, safe on the fielder's choice, stole second and scored on Gary Carter's 2-out double off the left field wall. Keith Moreland's home run over the center field fence in the second tied it at 1. But in the bottom of the second, the Expos regained the lead on a double by Tim Wallach and a 1-out double by Spire. And they added a run in the 4th inning, a leadoff walk to Spire and Cromartie's double. That's where we stand, 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, after the Dodgers failed to score in their half of the 8th, it's Houston up in a scoreless tie in the Astrodome. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whistled in the box seats behind the third base dugout. And the mascot and all the rest of us will be ready tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Youppi! Game 2. There's a foul ball. About 5 feet foul down the left field line. He does go the opposite way, doesn't he?
He goes to left field as well as anybody in the league. Good contact hitter, Warren Cromartie. He's in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And if he can keep from trying to pull that ball, he's one of the finer hitters in the National League. One of the happy-go-lucky guys in the league, too. Always smiling and laughing around that batting cage yesterday, getting on his teammates.
Oops, wild pitch. And Rogers goes to second base. So again, the Expos have a chance to add to the 3-1 lead. And how many opportunities have gone by the board for them?
If they do end up losing, they've got nobody to blame if themselves. They've had a number of players down in scoring position have not been able to blow the game open. Moreland unable to block the ball. It was about down in the dirt. Looked like a changeup from Reed.
The Expos have left 10 men on base in the first 7 innings. They have Rogers at second. 1 out, 2-2 pitch. Hit hard and high and foul. That went way back into the mezzanine.
You can see with that swing that Cromartie definitely trying to go to left field with the ball. Doesn't want to strike out. He's going to put the ball in play. He's got a man in scoring position now.
In the dirt. Rogers going to third. He's out. So there goes another man out of scoring position. Rogers gambled, and a good throw by Moreland.
Well, it's a calculated risk whether you're going to go here. You can see Cromartie is going to wave him on, but the ball didn't bounce very far away from Keith Moreland. A perfect throw to third base. It's not a bad play if you make it. You get to third base with 1 out. Sets up the sacrifice fly possibility. All the different ways to score from third base with 1 out. But when you get thrown out, you get taken out of scoring position as well.
So now the full count to Cromartie. And he's out of there. So Reed works out of trouble in both the 7th and 8th innings. That's his 3rd strikeout. No runs, no hits, no one left. The Phillies last call, top of the 9th, and they bring up some big guns.
On mornings like these, I can't let minor arthritis pain or its stiffness
stop me, so I turn to the warming power of Bengay. Bengay warming power works fast. I rub in Bengay and feel that good old warming power deep, right where it hurts, breaking up pain and its stiffness for hours of relief.
No wonder Bengay's America's #1 selling arthritis rub. It's got warming power.
When arthritis pain grips you, break the grip of pain with Bengay.
Team America. You can make them go through water, or climb, or jump. It's Team America and the Super Stunt Dirt Bike. The Super Stunt Dirt Bike is designed with knobby wheels, so you can make them do high jumping stunts. Team America. You can make them go through water, or climb, or jump. It's Team America and the Super Stunt Dirt Bike from Ideal.
Gee whiz, what a terrific savings on Dutch Boy latex house paint. What's going on?
Dutch Boy is having their biggest sale of the season. And you get dependable Dutch Boy quality in every brushful, along with smooth one-coat coverage.
Frank Gifford and me right here? Gee whiz.
Look for the special Dutch Boy Gee Whiz sale display, and you'll say,
Gee whiz.
Dutch Boy latex house paint. The proof is in the performance.
And now it's on sale.
Follow the bouncing ball Sunday on NBC Sports.
Top of the 9th inning at Olympic Stadium, Montreal. Game 1 of this Eastern Division Series. And Steve Rogers, out pitching Steve Carlton, leads 3-1 and will face Mike Schmidt, Bake McBride, and Keith Moreland. Gary Maddox, somber expression, not in the lineup today for Philadelphia, but of course available as a pinch hitter. Woody Fryman and Jeff Reardon, just in case, warming up in the Expo bullpen. Schmidt 0 for 2, but robbed of a hit at third on a fine play by Larry Parrish back in the third that saved a run. Rogers looking at his hand as if to blame that 4 fingers and a thumb for that last one.
Well, it could have been a hangnail or something, Steve. He'll talk to his finger here. He'll get it all organized. 22 starts this year. There you see the Houston LA score. Rogers has 22 starts, 7 complete games. Coming into this 9th inning, he's only thrown 100 pitches. Nice cool day, so shouldn't be from being tired if he comes out of the game. He should be plenty strong enough.
2-0 the count. Rogers disgusted with himself, not the call of the umpire. And we want to remind you, fans, that as soon as this game is over, we're going to be switching you to the Astrodome, so you'll be able to see what could be a very dramatic finish again between the Dodgers and the Astros. They're in the 9th inning, no score. Here it's 3-1 Montreal. Big pitch for Rogers. Schmidt taking all the way.
Big pitch, big out. Biggest out in the inning for a pitcher is the first out. Sets up the double play should men get on. You got to get the first out of the inning. You don't want to walk the leadoff hitter. 3-1, you're 2 runs ahead. Mike Schmidt can't tie the game up.
That's right. A walk here, that old lexicon is true. A walk is as good as a hit here, and Schmidt is acting that way. He's going to make him throw. I would guess he's taking 3-1 again, wouldn't you?
Should be taking 3-1. Mike can't tie the game up. He's down 2 runs. His value is on first base. Here again, as you've seen Schmidt all day, getting 3-0 in the first inning, 3-1 the second time up, and here again 3-1. But I would think he'd be taking. Nope. Wrong again.
Now, what do you know about hockey?
That's right.
Strikes to Schmidt. Out of play.
3-2 pitch out of the strike zone, too. Rogers still rubbing his fingers, having a little meeting with himself. He knows that's a big out up there. He knows that's the out he wants in the inning more than anything else. He could be getting a blister, too. Or the chill. Could be the chill. He may not have a good feeling in his fingertips because if it is chilly on the field.
Yeah, the other rule is you bring that tying run up, and you may be out of the game. Grounded hard to Spira, and he gets it. Oh, Schmidt hit it on the nose, but directly to the Montreal shortstop. 2 outs to go. 3-1 Montreal. It's interesting. You get to the playoffs and pitching. Last night 1-1 in the 9th. Astros win 3-1. Today they're scoreless. Here 3-1. Low scoring games. In tight at third base. McBride still runs well despite knee surgery midseason this year. 1-1. Cromartie meanwhile is deep at first base. Two and one. Good job today, and congratulations to John Gonzalez, our director, and our producer, George Finkel. Nice to have our executive producer, Don Olmeyer, with us in Montreal today, and all the NBC crew, an excellent job. 2-2 to the count.
Of course, in this situation, Rogers, every out obviously is a big out. Schmidt's a big out. McBride becomes a big out because the guy in the on-deck circles already hit a home run off him today.
Fair ball, and there's 2 away. Dodgers failed to score in the top of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th inning, the Astros are up. We'll go to the Astrodome right after the completion of this game, and listen to this crowd rooting for the final out as Canada, in its first playoff opportunity, wants a win. Keith Moreland homered over the center field fence in the 2nd inning for the only Philly run. He also has a single and a soft line out. Montreal 3, Philadelphia 1. But Moreland keeps it alive with a single to center field, his 3rd hit of the game. So Keith Moreland has led all hitters with 3 base hits. He's going to come out for a pinch runner. See if Jim Fanning is going to stay with Rogers as a pinch hitter, and a pinch runner will be used by Dallas Green. Luis Aguayo will run for Moreland. His run, of course, can't beat the Expos. He didn't want to take any undue chances.
Yeah, the next man can, obviously, and you want a guy up there that can pop the ball out of the ballpark. Scheduled hitter, of course, Larry Boa. Dallas Green going to his bench.
And George Vukovic is coming up. Arlington, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Vukovic hit .385 this year after being recalled. He was up 26 times with 10 hits. One of those a home run. He represents the tying run. One and one. A crowd of 34,327. It would have been much larger, I'm certain, but it has been raining in Montreal since mid-afternoon yesterday and right up to game time today. They're glad they came. 3-1 the score. Hit to left field, and that's another base hit as Vukovich off the bench keeps it alive for Philadelphia. So now the potential winning run comes to the plate, and to the mound goes Jim Fanning.
We talked to Jim Fanning yesterday, sitting down there, casually chatting with him, Dick, you and I, and about his ball club, about his experience of managing, and he said his bullpen has done it for him. Bullpen, the guys down in that bullpen, Jeff Reardon, Woody Fryman, Sosa, every game that they played in, it seemed to be a close game.
And here comes Reardon, the right-hander, acquired from the Mets at midseason in the trade that dealt Ellis Valentine to New York. And the hand building for Steve Rogers as he comes off. It'll go up a few decibels. With a break in the action, the score, Expos 3, Phillies 1. Let's pause for this word.
Look out, world! Look out! Here comes Ford.
Here comes Mustang.
City sidewalk, listen to the street talk.
Don't you know the word that's going round town?
Wow. Definitely downtown.
When you slide behind the wheel, you feel
It's got about the right fit.
put together tight. It's gonna make it anywhere we take it.
Look out, world! Look out! Here comes Ford.
From air dam to spoiler, this is a Mustang with a message. Powered by a 5-liter high-output engine, it says, stand back. The street belongs to GT.
Look out, world! Look out! Say, look out! Here comes Ford. Here comes new. Here comes now. Here comes Ford.
This Cole's big trouble. What'd you get me?
Well, you've been sniffling, sneezing in your head, Stuffy, so I got you some time capsules.
But I'm also coughing, aching, feverish. Tonight, I gotta rest.
I was supposed to get a sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine?
That's NyQuil. Relieves everything these capsules do, plus other symptoms they don't.
NyQuil.
I need some.
I'll get some.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
America's most innovative sports show returns Saturday with 2 World Championship fights. First, marvelous Marvin Hagler, middleweight champion of the world, battles the tough Mustafa Hamsho. Plus, WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver takes on the undefeated James Quick Tillis. Saturday.
2 outs in the 9th inning. The Phils, Derek Rogers with hits by Moreland and Vukovich.
A real popular player here for the Montreal Expos. Steve Rogers getting thrown out at third, but he got a fine hand coming off that mound after pitching 8 2/3 innings today. A real competitor, a veteran of this young Montreal staff. He's the player that holds this staff together.
Jeff Reardon, hard-throwing right-hander against Manny Trio with a tying run at first base. 3-1. Expos lead it. Reardon with Montreal, 2 wins, no losses with an ERA. Those numbers are reversed. It was 1.29, not 2.19, so much better even than those numbers would indicate. A 1.29 ERA with Montreal and 2.19 overall. There's Rudy Carpenter, the owner of the Phils, looking for a big base hit from Trio, a man he acquired in a very big trade from the Cubs a couple of years ago.
Reardon is by no means a trick pitcher either. He's going to come in from the bullpen and go right after you with hard stuff. 2 fastballs away, the first 2 pitches to Manny Trio, and he's behind in a hole, 2-0.
Caught the corner, 2-1. On deck, if Del Unser for the Phils. he would hit for the pitcher. Two on, two out. The 2-1 pitch. Yes, 2-2. One around. Here comes the crowd. They're on their feet. One strike from victory. Hit well to left field. Back goes Francona. Young Terry Francona makes a good play in left field on a line drive off the bat of Manny Trio, and the Expos celebrate their first playoff win. Three runs, 8 hits, no errors for Montreal as Steve Rogers gets the win. 1 run on 10 hits and 1 error for Philadelphia as a loss to Steve Carlton. Keith Moreland hit a home run, the only home run of the game and the only run for the Phils. Big play defensively by Larry Parrish to save a run. Chris Spire doubled in 1 run and then scored what proved to be an additional run at 3-1. Well, there's plenty of excitement also in the Astrodome in Houston as the Astros trying to rally in the 9th inning. Let's go to Joe and Tony.